San Diego Padres have a succession plan because their owner, Peter Seidler, died. We've talked about Peter Seidler. I told you stories of my relationship with him, what a fantastic man he was, how much he wanted to win so badly, but how irrational he acted as an owner, the payrolls he had, the losses he incurred, the desire to be the Padres, the tragic way in which he died so young at only 63 years old. The succession plan we all assumed was that his brother was going to be the control person. MLB is voting on that. And then yesterday, a horrific lawsuit got filed. The widow of Peter Seidler, her name is Sheil. She's of Indian descent, and I say that because she's alleging racism of her former brothers-in-law. She is suing to take control of the Padres, saying that Peter Seidler, when my husband died, he told me that I would be in control of the team, not my brothers. And she apparently has a piece of paper to prove it. Here's the problem. The way it works with a succession plan in baseball, it's filed with the league. That is the succession plan. There is no debate about it. The reason why the family's having a fight and the lawsuits are happening and the statements are so horrific in what's being alleged, they did competing statements. His widow gave a statement talking about what a sad day this is, that she had to file this lawsuit, how absolutely and unbelievably upsetting it is for her to be treated the way she's being treated. The new control person, the brother of Peter Seidler, had to come out and release an entire statement as well. She wants you to believe that she did not take this decision lightly to sue, understands how serious this is, doesn't want to serve as a distraction. Side note, anytime you hear that owners don't want to be distractions to their players because of things that are going on, I only tell you that when a team loses, they blame it and say we were distracted. But in general, players don't care. There's not one San Diego Padre player who is sitting around saying, man, who's going to be the control person? I hope it's John and Bob and not Sheil. Oh, man, I love Sheil. I hope it's Sheil and maybe the daughter too. Not once, not a thought. Notwithstanding some recent contracts, which gave me reason to pause, where somehow Ohtani requires Andrew Friedman and Mark Walter to be there with the Dodgers, and Juan Soto did something where he needs Steve Cohen and Alex Cohen to be around. That's new. That always makes me smile. I will only take your $700 million if you're here, because the money from somebody else won't be the same. And I signed up to be with you. Still haven't met a player, not one, spoken to many players, many agents over my years. Haven't met one. Oh, I signed with this team because of the owner. Nope, doesn't happen that way. So this thing that's going on with the Padres, here's the problem with it. Baseball is going to stay quiet because it's a legal proceeding. The Padres said that we're going to decline comment as well. They don't comment on legal matters. MLB not going to comment. They're mortified about this lawsuit. MLB knows exactly what's going on with this lawsuit and who's going to prevail because they know what the succession plan is. The sad part is when families fight, and we see it so often. We've seen teams change hands because the children of a dead owner can't get along. They can't figure out who's going to run what. So many parents do not leave clear directions upon their death of what's supposed to happen. So many times there's the infighting, and it's always about money and control and power and ego. So selfish of people to die without making it clear what is supposed to happen. People who die without a will, people who die without a clear plan with everything in their life. Where they want to be buried, how they want to be buried. You owe it to your family, to your children, to your friends to not make them guess and then worry and have the guilt that they guessed wrong. Think about what happened. Do you remember the fight that we covered last year when the Broncos had to be sold to the Walmart people because Pat Boland's kids couldn't stop fighting? Do you remember when the Bus family was fighting amongst themselves, suing each other, left, right, and center? We see it time and time again. The Padres are now added to a long list of families who can't seem to figure out how to follow through on the wishes of the deceased and instead decide what would be better than a lawsuit. A good old-fashioned drag them out, who's got the power lawsuit. And just for good measure, I'm going to play the card of you don't like me because I'm the wife. She actually talked in this complaint about some very horrific texts and emails that were sent that were incredibly racist, trying to sully these brothers of Peter Seidler. But then both sides say, hey, this is all about the Padres. This is all about continuing our quest to have this great organization, which, by the way, is running out of money and was run so irresponsibly that we're totally screwed that we have to lower our payroll. But I digress. This is all about you, Padres fans. The reason we're fighting is to make sure that we can continue to have the team that you can be proud of. Completely ridiculous.